Understand, right? As SGA works himself left, Nickeil Alexander-Walker can't see what's behind him, right? And so what SGA sees, though, right, is Rudy Gobert sitting right here. So what is SGA going to do? He's not going to drive left. Rudy Gobert sitting right there, and there's somebody else in that corner. So he's only going to work Nickeil Alexander left to now open up that right. Spin move, gets through that gap, behind the play, foul. Understand, right? When you have a big man on you, when you get him to do this, move backwards, play defense, slide their feet, they're already uncomfortable because they have bad agility. Now, when you end up doing this exactly also right here, which is now bump, and then also change direction, it makes it even tougher because now you're adding more variables onto something they're already terrible at. So what does SGA do in the situation? Pump fake, step through, get skinny, left hand lay, make sure you work on both hands. That's vital, right? And now even on this angle, understand this too, the bump. A lot of y'all have difficulty bumping, and it may be a nervous system issue, your inability of throwing your weight in certain directions, or it could just be because you don't know when to properly bump. When y'all try to drive and create contact for bumps, you maintain the same distance right here, then extend that arm. When you take that step of that arm you're about to use, you got to get that step into their frame in the direction of the rim, so then you could also lead that arm, right? And then from there, you could chicken wing that arm, don't have to overextend it and create proper separation, not get called for an offensive foul. So now SGA is able to get there from that separation over commitment by Rudy Gobert, step through, lay, bucket. That's tough. When your coach says low man wins, this is what he's talking about. Look at SGA's levels, right? He's maybe 4 feet right now, right? And he's 6'6", 6'7". Come on, man. Now, through contact, staying low. Through contact, staying low. Tween. Look how low that tween is. That ball remained below his kneecap. Went through in that calf area. Now he gets left around the body, left hand lay by a righty. That's tough. SGA on this left side, right? You got Josh Giddey all the way down this corner. So where does SGA have room, right? He has room on this left, but understand this weak side at the same time. Look at Jalen Williams about to go into some sort of action, possibly, right? And so SGA goes left. Jalen Williams just makes a little exchange. Sees SGA get here, see this help defense be caught up with the ball and trying to move with their matchup at the same time, right? So they can't be able to see who they're really guarding. They're caught on the ball. So what does Jalen Williams do? Boom, cut along the baseline. SGA is able to get into that middle because he worked his way left to start. Same thing like he did before a little bit with Gobert. Got himself one way, then got himself back the other way. SGA gets left. Pump fake, boom, step through. But he didn't get that gap because of the pump fake. The only reason SGA got that gap is because Naz Reid, boom, flipped that base. And now what does Naz Reid have to do when SGA gets to the stop? He has to get to a stop. But notice what Naz Reid is doing now. He's still finding his feet. Big have a hard time changing directions and control where they're going, right? And so now he gets that gap going to the middle. Not because of pump fake, because he made him change direction. The thing about Shai is not his mid-range that's the best, not his ball control that's the best. It's his movement that's the best. So when he gets in spots like this where he has to just get skinny and find room, find space, he could be able to get to a shot like this where he never even goes to the gym and practices to shoot, and he can shoot it because he masters movement and he's mastered balance. So he can shoot damn near any shot that there is. He don't even need that many reps. Shai gets off the screen, right? He tries to put his cousin in jail. Boom, he tries to get something. Couldn't cook. But the good thing is, he didn't overcook. He just undercooked. So all he has to do is put the shit back on the pot, back on the stove, and now he can continue to cook the food as it needs to be done. Right? So he gets this catch right here, right? And understand this, when you're driving, the most important thing is timing your contact, right? And so Shai takes that first step for power. Once it's on the same side as the shoulder that should bump, right? That's when he's seeking that contact to the body. And now, boom, he's able to get to that body, bump, stop on the same step that he bumps with, boom, off the glass, bucket. You got Shai with the pull-up, right? Boom, he shoots that over Cat, but
I shoot my shot in the brick. Yeah, I shoot my shot in the brick.
But look, offensive rebound though, right? Look, he gets it back. And on this catch, he remains in his base and looking at Cat because he's behind. And by remaining in that base, he now gives himself more action potential to drive, right? Neurologically, he's able to get from A to B quicker because his body is already ready. He's in an athletic position. So now once he gets here, he could be, boom, he's low, he's gone, he's out. You know what I'm saying? Boom, gets to that middle, left, lay. Didn't get that N1 though, it's tough. If you want to have an elite snatchback, you got to master this, which is internal hip rotation. Because when you get in a position like this, where you got to shift and put all your weight on that front foot, that back leg has to do something, right? It's going to end up dragging. How is it going to drag? Internally, right? That hip is going to rotate internally. So you have to develop a level of hip mobility and strength so that hip isn't exposed to getting hurt in these spots, right? And so once you get that internal hip rotation and that single leg strength, you mix those two together, your snatchback game, your crossover game, your ball handling game is going to hit a different level. Promise. Internal hip rotation, internal hip rotation, internal hip rotation. Boom. Now he gets into that pull back shot over the top. Kyle Anderson, you slow-mo. Give me my bucket. In live action, they just got outsmarted. And Jalen McDaniels is about to get outsmarted right here, right? 9:22 in the fourth. Shai just checked in. And understand what he's going to do, right? He's also a foul merchant, but we only throw that label on Embiid. But ain't no problem with it, though. I don't got no problem with it, right? So understand, right? Understand his angles here, too. Drive, sharp, seeks that contact. He gets that foul. First one, right? Now, in the second one, right? This is the very next play, right? Shai gets this catch. McDaniels guarding him ISO again, right? At this point, McDaniels has 4 fouls. Understand that. He has 4, right? First one was 3 to start the fourth. Now he has 4. Now, boom, behind the back. Now, stop. And since this angle, this change right here is so sharp, this is what happens. He goes through that leg. He's not scared of contact. He knew the leg was there. He just didn't want to run around it. He wasn't scared of shit. Because he knew if he hit it, I could get a foul, right? So 5 on McDaniels. So now McDaniels is now playing on the fence. It's tougher for him to play throughout the rest of this game. Now, Ant's got the cover on the Shai. But understand at this point, right? When a player brings the ball up the floor and you're a defender, why copy their same cadence when you understand you must get set, right? And that's what Ant did right here, which is going to be the death of him, right? Because look at how vertical his base is at this point in time. Him being at that base, now it's harder for him to change direction. Shai's already getting low. He jumped out to that middle from that push cross, and now he has a lane, bump. Now he gets that foul right then and there. Bounce right out for that and one. That's tough. Look, if you're a scorer, understand who is guarding you. If you're Shai, I got Kyle Anderson. What's his nickname? Slow-mo, right? His nickname is Slow-mo. So when I go against him, he's slow. So I'm just going to get straight to my shit. I'm just going to go right, get to this baseline, pull up over the top. That shit looks so premeditated because you can't go nowhere else along that baseline that direction except just to shoot a fade. And now that hand is late and he gets his bucket. Just kept the shit simple. You got to understand how split second this game is, right? Look, y'all got to understand. Anytime you're in a workout and some shit go off, right, where like this, you make a bump and now your feet end up like this, you can't just try to cancel some shit. You got to make something out of nothing, right? And so now being in this spot, I need outlets. I just need to get the ball out of my hands, right? And that's how quick the game is, how split second it is, right? The ability to shift focus. So if you try to focus on one thing too much, you won't be able to make a move like this and understand what you got to do. You'll get stuck. So now Shai just understands where spacing is from all that help. Boom, bucket. The key to getting switches off ball screens is stretching out the defense, right? Forcing them to commit to something because now at this point, since he got so deep and now got out, he now forced Gobert to be on him and no longer in. And what is now Shai going to do? Keep shit simple and take advantage of what he has. Forces him to break his base, make a big change direction, right? Guard, and now bump. Now he's not able to stop. Something else a big isn't good at. Now shot, I don't even see the hand. It's just a bucket. Notice this right here, though. Notice this, right? As Shai begins to take Ant back, notice Ant's base, right? Shai relaxes. Now Ant begins to relax. He's taking slow steps. And so the second that now Shai gets into an unorthodox go move, now Ant has to say, oh shit, I have to do something. And now his feet aren't set, his body's not ready. He doesn't have the action potential to beat him to a spot laterally. And now he gets his hands caught up on his body while Shai's already got that step. That's what makes Shai so elite. Those unorthodox goes and those stops as well.